Flying economy can be a very exhausting experience, especially on the long-haul flights. But there are ways to make it more comfortable, and one of them is choosing the right seat for your flight. So in this video, I'll take you through all the seats in economy space on the airplane in order for you to make the right decision and pick the right seat for you for your next flight, so your flight can be more comfortable and enjoyable. Since different airlines and different airplanes have different seating layouts, we'll try to use a generic layout of the seating for long-haul flights, which is first class and business class towards the front of the plane, and then middle and the rear side section of the airplane is economy. The rear side of the plane is statistically shown to be the safest side of the plane in case of an accident, and hopefully that never happens. But also, as you get closer to the tail of the plane, the effect of the turbulence becomes much higher. So if you are affected by anything like car sickness or seasickness, I would highly not recommend for choosing any seats towards the end of the plane, because in case of the turbulence, you will feel quite uncomfortable. The center of the plane, just above the wings, have to be the least affected by the turbulence. So that's the most smooth and gentle flight experience out of the whole airplane. Let's start with the window seats. So the window seats have a number of advantages. One being you get a good view if you're flying during the day. The second one is you have a wall support, so you can put the pillow and your head against the pillow, and it gives you a more comfortable sleeping position. And the third one is you don't get distracted by your neighbors when they need to go to the bathroom or need to stand up. No one disturbs you. So if you are sleeping on a plane or you have a long overnight flight, window seat probably would be the best for you. You can just sit down and relax and sleep through the flight. The disadvantage of the window seat is when you do have to get up to go to the bathroom or to just walk around the plane, you have to ask your neighbors to let you out. Now let's move on to the middle seat. And there is basically no advantages to the middle seat. Everything you can think of is a disadvantage to a middle seat. You get squished, you have no space to move around, you have no view, you get disturbed by people when they need to go to the bathroom, and you get squished between two people if they're on a larger side. So avoid the middle seat altogether. There's just absolutely no advantage to it whatsoever. Unless, of course, you're traveling as a couple or as two friends, and then you kind of can lift your armrest in between yourselves and give yourself a bit of more space. But that's really the only reason why you would sit in the middle seat, is just because someone sitting next to you. Moving on onto the aisle seats. With aisle seats, you get the maximum mobility. So you've got the aisle to your side, you can stretch out into the aisle, you can put your arm out, etc. Additionally, and this trick not a lot of people know, there's a small button under the armrest towards the aisle, the one you can push and lift the armrest up. And with lifting the armrest up, you can actually slide slightly out into the aisle seat, and it gives a bit more space for you to sit in and a bit more freedom to move around as well. And it's quite a good advantage to know. So next time you fly economy, give it a try. You'll be amazed how much more spacious the seat will feel. The next advantage of the aisle seat is you got faster disembarking. So you're the first one to get up and walk out of the airplane, subject to the people in front. The disadvantage of the aisle seat is every time one of your neighbors need to go to the bathroom and wants to get up, they will disturb you. They will ask you, and you will have to let them out. So as for a peaceful flight, that's the least peaceful flight you will have in the aisle seat. Now, staying with the aisle seats are not the same. There are some better and some are worse. The best aisle seats to pick is in the center right. It's statistically shown that due to human nature, people tend to move towards the exit. The exit on the plane is on your left-hand side. So when person is sitting in the middle seat in the center, they tend to, in 99% of the cases, when they get up, they move to the left. So by sitting on the right side, you won't be disturbed. Additionally, when the plane landed and everyone is disembarking, the center seats in the center tend to all exit towards the left. So your queuing time and your human traffic time in the right aisle will be a lot less than in the left aisle. Hence, picking the seat in the center right as an aisle seat gives you the best option for a comfortable, distraction-free flight. Now, let's quickly touch on the emergency exit row seats. And people tend to pay a premium for them. So, here are some advantages and disadvantages of them, and you can make a decision if this is something which is right for you and you're prepared to pay extra for it. So the emergency seat rows, they tend to have a lot more leg room, right? So yes, you can stretch out forward and you can be relatively comfortable. However, because of the way they're made, the seats feels like you're sitting in a bucket. And the reason being is you can't lift your armrest. The armrests in the emergency exit rows are solid. So you kind of squished in it, so you have no space to move at all. Yes, you do get additional leg room, but you have to be as straight as possible. Otherwise, you just simply can't move and it becomes quite an uncomfortable experience. And my personal view on it, I generally try to avoid them. For the reason is you just don't feel right sitting in them. So to quickly summarize everything I've just said, right? And if you think about it, we can put it in a very simple way. The rear airplane, the safest part of the airplane. However, it's also the bumpiest. So in case of turbulence, you will feel like you're in a roller coaster. The center of the airplane gives you the smoothest flight possible. Window seats are great for sleeping. If you can sleep on the airplane and you have a night flight, take the window seat. You will have the least distractions and you can sleep. You can put your head against the wall and have decent night's sleep. Center seats, just avoid them altogether. There's no advantages of sitting in them. Aisle seats, most flexibility for stretching, a bit more space if you lift your armrest and slide out slightly into the aisle, not that great for sleeping. So if you have a day flight, pick an aisle seat and pick it towards the center right aisle, because that will give you the most comfortable experience on the plane during the day. And that's it. So I hope you got enough information to make a right decision to choose the right seat for you on your next flight. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, subscribe, and happy and safe travel.